Clear thinking can feel difficult because truth can clash with what you want. It's natural to hope that facts will match your plan, support your view, and protect your comfort. But truth doesn't work that way. It isn't a service. It doesn't change to help you. Reality is fixed in its own way, and it acts like a final judge. If your idea doesn't match what happens, then your idea has to change. You can see this clearly in the laws of nature. Gravity behaves the same for everyone. Heat moves the same way everywhere. Outcomes follow the rule, not your preference. Thinking becomes clear when you accept that comfort and truth are different things. Comfort can feel pleasant, but truth can be strict. Your job is to align with truth first. Truth stands whether we like it or not, that the mind naturally prefers what it already knows. Familiar ideas feel easy because they fit smoothly into your current view of the world. They don't force you to rebuild anything. They feel right because they're known, not because they're correct. This is a common trap. People confuse mental ease with truth and treat comfort as evidence, when comfort is often just habit. The brain tends to prefer patterns it has seen before because it saves effort. But that also reduces attention. When a new fact breaks an old pattern, the mind can resist and label the new fact as wrong too quickly. Thinking improves when you separate "this feels familiar" from "this is true." You let the new idea stay on the table long enough to be tested. You don't reject it simply because it feels strange. Ego also resists being proven wrong. Many beliefs aren't just ideas. They become badges. They can signal that you're smart, informed, loyal, or the kind of person who knows. When a belief is challenged, it can feel like your identity is under attack. That's dangerous for clear thinking. If your sense of self depends on being right, then evidence starts to feel like a threat. You begin defending instead of learning. You argue instead of checking. People often interpret information in ways that protect their self-image. They accept supportive facts quickly and reject opposing facts quickly, even when they believe they're being fair. Clear thinking gets easier when you separate ego from belief. You treat beliefs as tools, not as identity. Tools are meant to be replaced when they stop working. That's normal. Ego defense makes truth harder to accept. Uncertainty also feels unsafe to the mind. The mind wants closure. It wants a clean answer and a finished case. A clear conclusion feels stable and reduces mental work. But real understanding often begins with uncertainty. Learning something new usually reveals gaps and limits. Some questions remain open, and that isn't failure. It's the normal shape of knowledge. Many people prefer definite answers over unknowns, and even weak answers can feel better than honest uncertainty. That's how the mind can choose comfort over accuracy. Thinking improves when you accept uncertainty as part of the process. You name what you know, name what you don't know, and move step by step. You resist the urge to fill gaps with stories. This prevents fake certainty and keeps learning honest. Discomfort rises when certainty disappears. Truth can also shrink. Your sense of control. Many comforting beliefs have something in common. They make you feel in charge. They suggest outcomes are fully predictable or fully manageable. But nature has rules, not guarantees. You can understand many causes, yet still not command every result. Limits and uncertainty are part of reality. When people feel control, they feel stable. When control is shown to be limited, thinking can feel harder, and that can lead people to reject facts that reduce comfort. Clear thinking grows when you accept a simple split. There are things you can control and things you cannot. Truth helps. You draw that line. It helps you stop wasting effort on false control and focus on what can actually be changed. Truth exposes the real limits of control. Social pressure can make truth feel even more uncomfortable. Beliefs don't live only inside you. They also live inside groups. Shared beliefs can feel safe, normal, and like common sense. But popularity is not a test of truth. A group can be wrong. A crowd can repeat an error for a long time. Reality doesn't vote. People often align with group beliefs to reduce conflict. They accept claims without checking evidence or avoid facts that could isolate them. In that situation, truth can feel threatening because it can carry a social cost. You protect your thinking by separating social comfort from factual accuracy. You can respect people and still test claims. You can belong to a group and still check reality. Evidence and clear reasoning don't change with social mood. Truth also demands mental effort. Simple stories feel easy because they give quick answers, remove details, and avoid limits. They often use strong certainty and clean endings. But truth is often less neat than a story. It may require careful definitions, measurement, and slow reasoning, and that takes mental energy. Deep reasoning uses working memory. It forces you to hold several steps at once and compare ideas. When you're tired, this feels heavy, and the mind naturally reaches for the easier option, even if the easier option is wrong. Thinking improves when you treat effort as part of the cost. You slow down, take one claim at a time, check what words mean, and ask what evidence would actually support the claim. You accept that accuracy can take longer than belief. Admitting errors can also feel like a loss. Beliefs can become investments. You spend time on them, repeat them, teach them, and defend them. When a belief turns out to be wrong, changing it can feel like losing what you put into it. But error isn't something to fear. It's a guide. When a prediction fails, that failure points to what needs to change. People often feel losses more strongly than gains, which can make correction feel painful, even when it improves accuracy. That's why people hold on to weak ideas, just to avoid the feeling of loss. Thinking improves when you redefine what you're losing. You aren't losing the truth. You're losing an error. You aren't losing status. You're gaining accuracy. You shift from defending old claims to building better ones. Correcting mistakes can feel hard, but it strengthens understanding. Truth can also disrupt long-held views. Old beliefs feel stable. They help you predict and decide. They reduce uncertainty. When a new truth arrives, it can force changes across many connected ideas. Learning isn't only adding facts. It's rebuilding models. One new fact can change how you see many other facts, and that's why truth can feel uncomfortable. It can be a full system update, not a small change. People resist changing established views because the mind wants to protect the old structure. It may ignore new evidence or twist it to fit the old view. Clear thinking becomes stronger when you accept that change is normal. You treat your model as adjustable. You revise one part at a time, keep what still fits the facts, and remove what doesn't. Truth requires updating old mental models. Evidence itself is impersonal. Opinions can vary widely, but results don't bend to personal preference. A number is a number. A result is a result. The same test under the same conditions tends to give the same outcome. This is one of the strengths of science. It doesn't depend on authority or confidence. It depends on checking. If a claim is true, it should survive tests. If it's false, tests will expose it. Measurement aims to reduce personal influence by using tools, clear methods, and repeatable steps. This makes results less dependent on who is watching. You gain stability when you place evidence above opinion. You can still have values and preferences, but you don't let them rewrite facts. You let facts tell you what is possible. Facts stay fixed even when opinions differ. Over time, intellectual honesty reduces the discomfort around truth. Discomfort isn't permanent. It changes with practice. When you practice updating, you get better at it. When you practice admitting errors, it becomes less dramatic and more normal. You learn to value accuracy more than pride. Correction stops feeling like humiliation and starts feeling like progress. Self-awareness helps here. When you can observe your own thinking, you spot bias sooner. You pause before you defend. You ask for evidence instead. You build this skill through simple habits. You state what you know and what you don't know. You name your assumptions. You notice when you feel defensive and you return to data. Honest thinking makes truth easier to accept. Truth often feels uncomfortable because it corrects us. We begin with preference, habit, identity, and group beliefs. And truth can challenge all of it. It can remove false control, demand effort, and force updates. But discomfort is not a sign that the truth is wrong. It's often a sign that your model is being corrected. Progress happens through correction, and clear thinking works the same way. Weak ideas get replaced by stronger ones, and that process is not always smooth. It requires admitting limits and making changes. You think with more clarity when you treat discomfort as a cost you're willing to pay for accuracy. You choose evidence over ease. You choose correction over pride. Discomfort is the price of aligning with reality.